I'm Jacob.
I'm Yuri.
And we're going for a drive.
...2022 Mercedes-Benz S580.
4MATIC without launch control, brake boost. Really smooth once it got going.
Horsepower and torque.
496 horsepower, 512 pound-feet of torque from a 4-liter twin-turbo V8 with EQ boost.
And this is the fully refreshed new one.
Yes, it is.
So we've got new looks, new interior, new infotainment, lots of weird infotainment stuff.
Yeah, which I actually like, and spoiler alert, Yuri doesn't, so this is gonna get interesting.
Totally hate it, we'll save that for the end. And then this competes with the 7 Series, and then also a Maserati Quattroporte.
And an Audi A8.
So what do you want to get into first, Jacob?
Well, since we are at Cliche Corner, I will leave this in Sport Plus. The drive modes and everything have changed, at least the way that you change everything. I actually really like the way that's done. So I will send it into Cliche Corner because we do have air suspension, and it makes a really big difference in Sport Plus. Like, the biggest difference. Even this bump right here, much stiffer than in Comfort.
Sport Plus,
yes.
damn.
Okay, so I'm gonna send it around here, and this thing is a barge, and holy crap does it handle. You can feel the torque vectoring through the...
This feels good.
Yeah, I know. Like, through the ESP system, it's actually...
The S-Classes shouldn't drive this nicely.
Exactly. Like
especially not even an AMG S-Class.
That's what I was going to say. Like, this handles way better than I would have expected.
Okay,
and
back
now,
to comfort.
Comfort, and leave it in comfort for the rest of the video, because this suspension is one of the best suspensions that I have encountered.
Over a speed bump, like there's like big speed bumps near my house, and it's like boom, boom. It's the perfect damping. Like,
it's perfect.
Besides that, Bose Lexus car.
The one that doesn't exist, but...
It doesn't exist, yes, correct.
Yes. But also e-active body control that we experienced on other Mercedes, like the Maybach GLS. That is also very good. This can't bounce up and down, but I believe that is an option, or at least it's coming.
The bouncing on this?
Yeah. They literally made a lowrider. Now, unfortunately, you can't actually change the height of the suspension. You can only do the high lift mode, and that's about it. And it's not even really that high.
Maybe that's so you can go down your country road or something?
Probably, or hop a curb or something.
Uh.
But you don't really need to adjust it. It's got a pretty good stance from the outside. Let's get into the looks.
So Mercedes has been changing their design language where everything looks exactly the same. Like, they're releasing the new SL, and it's like, oh, I wonder what it's going to look like. An AMG GTR. Yeah, okay, of course.
Pretty much.
They simplified all the body lines. They smoothed it out. We've got the same headlights that every single Mercedes have, except this has 3 dots because it's an S-Class.
Yeah, so this new design language, I think, looks pretty good on the S-Class. Out of all the sedans, I think it works the best on the S-Class. I really don't like it on the regular A-Class.
I like that behind the headlights, behind the DRLs, it's very dark, like black. Like, I won't even have to Photoshop that in the thumbnails to make it look darker and make the DRLs pop.
Yeah, and then we still have the star on the hood, which is awesome. However, I have a very, very gripey nitpick with that. I can't see the whole star from my driving position.
I guess that's the price we have to pay for better front-end collisions with pedestrians.
Unfortunately.
Fortunately.
For the pedestrians.
For pedestrians. And then the grille, it does have a huge sensor there. Don't you hate it? Just like Genesis. Don't you hate it, Jacob?
No, because they worked it into the actual slats of the grille.
Yeah, it disguises pretty all right.
That's what I'm saying.
And then at the bottom, it's just like a wide open thing, but it's not as aggressive as like an older S-Class would be. Like, not even nearly as aggressive from the front.
And it's not as classy either. Like, I don't want this to be aggressive. It's not classy anymore.
I think it's classier, but not as aggressive. I just don't like the looks as much.
So moving around to the side, you can't dump it like we said. It's got a pretty good stance though. I really like these wheels.
I mean, they're okay. They're chrome, which matches the chrome on the car.
Yeah, like these are really nice looking wheels, I think.
I would say base model-ish.
Oh.
Like, you couldn't get worse than this, could you?
I mean, you probably could. I just don't know.
Just get some Forgiatos for it. Dude, that's the one company that I love every wheel design
Yeah,
from.
you would like those wheels.
I like every like I look at on there and said there's not one I don't like. And what would be the Continental recommended tire for a new S-Class?
That would be the Extreme Contact DWS 06.
And then when looking at the body lines, these are very mellowed out compared to previous Mercedes.
Yeah, nothing too crazy going on here.
But then we've got our door handles that pop out, which is cool because then your body lines are flush, good for aerodynamics, I guess. But when the handle comes out, you pull back, but then the door pivots out. It is not a satisfying feeling with your hand at all, but it is aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, I fully agree with that. And moving around to the back end, I really like the taillights. They have like almost these like obelisks inside that light up at like different levels.
Yeah, it's very cool stack. And then when your turn signals go on, they're amber. They're not like sequential or anything red.
And then exhaust is 2021 or 2022 real.
The back end tapers off nicely. It's a nice shape with nice thin taillights, and the exhaust tips, the way they all blend together, it makes sense.
And don't even listen to it from the outside, just listen to how quiet it is in here, because it's actually sublime driving this thing.
Well, you can listen to the outside because it does have a valved exhaust back there.
Let's take a listen to the outside.
So overall, looks-wise, would you take this over a 7 Series looks, over a Quattroporte looks, over a Cadillac looks, over an A8 looks?
I don't love how this looks. I think I would actually go with the 7 Series for looks-wise.
And I would take an Audi looks over this. This is the bottom of my list.
Yeah. But previous generation S-Class, I would take over all those.
I would take Maserati first.
Ooh,
I mean,
spicy.
You see a Maserati on the road, you're stoked. You see an S-Class on the road, it blends in after a while.
Maserati is the spicy S-Class.
Maserati or Maserati? Let me know in the comments below.
I think it's Maserati.
Probably. So now to some things that I don't like. This Mercedes has a hybrid system in it.
Yeah, 48-volt mild hybrid.
And it charges up a bit when you hit your brakes.
Yep.
And because of that, you have a weird brake feeling that we hate in most hybrid cars. Do you not? I can't stand it.
I don't mind it at all, but you pointed it out.
Slow down. Let's
Okay.
go slower.
All right.
I was exiting a car wash. It was a nightmare.
That's what I was gonna say. I could see this being a pain in a car wash, but right now I'm okay with this.
And then it was like rolling back sometimes. Maybe because you drive on more rural roads and I drive on more urban roads around like my area. And because of that, I have more stop signs where you just kind of like start going and stop. But for me, this braking system is a total deal breaker.
And I'm not bothered by it at all, and I enjoy all the other features that this has, including this engine. I don't notice the mild hybridness of it at all. Like, it says I've got power right now. I feel like it's just from the turbos though. Like, this is still a really quick car. It's got a 9-speed auto, it's not a dual clutch, so the shifts are actually very slow, but they're seamless. Like, you literally cannot feel them. It's almost as good as the CVT.
Okay, change your gauge cluster to your sport mode.
Okay, let's go home, which these gauges are actually much better now.
And now use that to upshift and downshift with the paddles.
Okay, right there.
When do you redline? Upshift or redline?
Okay, here we go. I missed it. I have no idea. I'm going to go back to the gauges that I actually enjoy, which is exclusive. Now I have an RPM
Now shift
gauge.
or redline.
Okay, downshift.
Don't let it upshift automatically for you.
Got it.
Wow, you shift so early.
Well, yeah, because I know this transmission doesn't shift quickly. I have to prepare for that.
It is not a shift-it-yourself car, even though it comes with paddles.
No, this isn't a car that you're going to bother doing that in. You're just going to leave this in comfort and just drive it. That's the whole point of this car. So before you drive, I would like to address all of my little nitpicks with this vehicle.
Go for it.
Number one, it's too quiet. You're probably wondering why that's a problem. My baby was in here, which was actually great because I could have him behind the driver's seat. In most cars you can't because there's not enough legroom. But it's so quiet that I actually had to play white noise through the speakers so that he would actually fall asleep.
Yeah, my baby doesn't like cars at all and she always cries.
Oh, mine does, but just needs a little bit of noise, needs a little bit of loudness. The next thing is that the knurling on the turnstock is of too high quality where it actually leaves an imprint on my finger when I rest it there for too long.
Yeah, I mean, don't rest it there.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, these are ultimate nitpicks. And then my final one is that these vents up here are silver and they actually reflect onto the windshield all the time, and it's really bad in like really direct sunlight. That's all I got, Yuri.
Oh, I got a ton more.
No, I love this thing.
There's so much that I hate about this.
Okay, let's get into it, Yuri, with you in the driver's seat. So I'm obviously in the back. I'm just gonna press this so I can go in full recline mode. Takes a long time. Yuri, please start driving.
Why aren't you wearing a suit back there?
Ah, that's a little too cliche for me. I got my We the North, shout out Raptors.
I got my European Automotive, shout out European Automotive.
By the way, we are still waiting for that seat to move as the headrest moves independently. Each part of that seat moves independently. It is not a continuous motion.
Yeah, so when you're putting it back, the headrest has to go all the way back. But I guess maybe that's just like overloading the system.
Perhaps, but I'm still waiting for my footrest. Oh, here we go. That is the last piece of the puzzle, and now I am in full comfort back here.
I like that footrest, it's nice, but your legs are a little too long. They're like, no matter what, touching the seat back and gonna dirty it up with your shoes.
Yes, but I am of the rich variety where I don't care.
And then you've got a little tablet back there to control your stuff and the infotainment, but you don't have screens on the back.
Yeah, so you can get screens, but I do have an Android tablet, or at least it's run by Android, and it is customized by MBUX, and it's not the best, Yuri.
Yeah, it takes a while to load and stuff too. And right here, going into Cliche Corner, I had to hit the brakes at a different rate before it went into real brakes which is part of the reason why I don't like the brake feel in here.
And I did kind of feel that from back here. I'm kind of disappointed, Yuri.
Confirmed.
Okay, do you want to talk about this tablet quickly?
The one in your hand?
Yes.
Hit me with it.
So I can actually control all my stuff from back here, my comfort settings, which basically is all I can control from back here. So I can control my seat positioning, my rear seat climate control, so I can get my massage back here, I can get heated and cooled, I can control my peasant blockers, I can close that, I have a rear shade, and that's about it. So right now I actually can't control it for some reason because it says function not available, switch on ignition, even though you can clearly see that we are in motion right now. So it's just not the best experience with this tablet back here.
It's the remix to ignition.
So I got to use these buttons over here to control stuff right now.
Starting with those buttons, let's get into the stuff I hate. We got rid of those cool buttons on the door panel to adjust your seat where you actually moved it. Now you kind of just press up against it and then it moves, which isn't as satisfying. I don't know how hard to push, and I'm always pushing too hard, and I'm worried it's gonna stop, and I don't know if like where the limit is. I hate that.
I totally agree. It's not intuitive either.
And then they got rid of the actual like metallic buttons, and now it's all black capacitive touch buttons, which I also don't like as much. And then we have that on the steering wheel as well, which I still don't like.
Yeah, it's not as good as the previous generation of S-Class, but it's better than the current version of the E-Class, which like splits them into capacitive touch buttons.
Yeah, I don't like capacitive touch buttons.
No, because the capacitive touch is even your cruise control button. So you actually slide that up or down to adjust your speed.
Yeah, it's weird. Not my favorite. And then moving from that, the thing that I hate the most is this new infotainment. So they originally had that rotary wheel with the 2 screens that I couldn't touch. I like that. I like rotary wheel stuff. We had a lot of hard buttons to get to different menus. Then we went to some Mercedes infotainments with the trackpad and the touchscreen and MBUX where you could talk to your car. I don't like the trackpad. It was nice being able to touch it, and talking never really works that well. Now we have a full touchscreen, which is also going to be in the SL. It's weird because your climate's there too, and it's very tricky to adjust stuff. You need to turn your head a lot to change stuff. I'm not used to it, and I don't like how they're going to full big tablet stuff.
And so what I really like about this infotainment is that it's way better than the other current version of MBUX that we've experienced in every other Mercedes now, where they got rid of a lot of menus. It's basically just your main icons at the top now. There's no more like favorites below. There's no more themes below. Your themes are kind of controlled by your gauge cluster now, which makes a lot more sense. I think this one is a lot more intuitive than the other current MBUX version.
Yeah, and I think they simplified it, which is nice, but you can still get your favorites by swiping down from the top, and then you could set stuff there as your favorites too.
And then you have wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, and then you also have 360 cameras in here, obviously. Yuri, tell me about those.
Well, before we get to there, your Apple CarPlay we don't have a hard button for, but luckily it's in the top left corner pretty much at all times, so we can always click that to get there. But then going to like your radio buttons, you still need to go back, click home. You don't have hard buttons for everything else. 360 cameras are pretty awesome. They turn on automatically, so when you come to a stoplight, there's traffic light mode. When you go to a drive-through and it detects stuff near you, it'll automatically turn on and give you this cool view from behind. It's kind of like a GTA 5 view. And then when you get close to drive-throughs and stuff near your wheels, it'll go to top-down view, but I don't know how to get to a top-down view on my own. Let me just try to figure it out real quick.
Go for it. I'm enjoying myself back here, Yuri.
So at a full stop,
Okay.
I click my parking assist button and I see my camera.
Yeah.
If I swipe left and right, it'll actually go around, but it's super
Here,
laggy.
Let me just film exactly what you're experiencing right now from the back seat. Okay, let's go, Yuri.
Yeah.
Recording. Go for it.
Click the button, and there's my GTA 5 view. I can swipe left and right, but it's kind of laggy.
Yeah, it is laggy.
Oh, and I think I just figured out how to get full vertical view. You need to, oh no.
Uh-oh.
Nope.
Oh, that's the music.
A twist with see, I can't get just a top-down view. And if I click this, I get my rear, I get my front, but I get top-down there. But then certain times you can get full top-down.
Huh.
But the automatic mode does a great job of showing you the 360 camera when you need it.
There you go.
So then other stuff with this infotainment, if we click home, we can see our icons that are pretty much like all the other ones. And then you got your vehicle settings and stuff too that you can go into. But then we also have a hard button for your vehicle settings here, which is nice. We have a volume slider, which still works. There's a fingerprint reader, I think, for Mercedes Me. We don't really like to log into cars and give our driver's licenses to online car stuff. I think Mercedes did even get hacked last year when you had the E63S wagon long-term tester. So I am not about that connected car life.
Yeah, that was this year, but my information was not actually leaked because it was a different part of Mercedes. But anyways, we did not upload our driver's license to this. We also have dynamic mode down there, which also changes our drive modes. Yuri, what drive modes do we have other than comfort? Because that's the only one I really care about.
Eco, Comfort, Sport, Sport Plus, and Individual.
That's all you really need.
But then a lot of the bones of this infotainment is very similar to the other Mercedes infotainments from the past. Like the folder structure or whatever is quite similar. And like previous Mercedes infotainments, we can have a dash cam recorder app that goes, but you need to plug a USB-C device in to record that. However, the BMWs record to the computer and then you just dump off that.
And then your gauge cluster has been completely changed. I think it's been simplified so much that I actually really like this compared to previous generations.
Yeah, they got rid of a lot of the customization, which is nice. So what you do is you click your home button on the steering wheel. You've got understated, sport, exclusive, classic, navigation, assistance, and then service. So I switch to assistance when I'm using my radar cruise on the highway, and then any other time I like to switch over to understated, and what that does is just make it very chill. And if you remember in previous Mercedes, it'll make your infotainment screen black, and then when you try to change anything on your infotainment screen, it'll get out understated. This, we can still use our infotainment while in understated, and then we can also understate our infotainment by clicking the top left, and it'll simplify what's there, and then we can click this color prism to change the color. I like the pink one. And we also have cool turquoise and greens and a gray.
And then that also affects your ambient lighting in here, which is cool. So the ambient lighting is very impressive in here. It's basically like that Maybach GLS that we had. They added some colors. I really like the, what is it called, Yuri? Miami Sunset? No, it's called...
The new colors that we have to get rid of Red Moon, which was getting a little played out, is Ocean Blue, Miami Rose, Malibu Sunset, Chrome Shine, Burning Blue. Everything's gone a lot more early 90s aesthetic.
Malibu Sunset is definitely my favorite. It has now replaced Red Moon for me.
And all the lines are good. The way it kind of comes around the door panels and everything, and how much you can see it during the day on this overcast day is really nice.
It's crazy good quality.
And then as for lane keep and radar cruise, this does have it. We like the Mercedes one, but if you don't have your hand on the steering wheel like very heavily, it's going to beep at you. It's going to think your hand's not there. Where a Maserati system just wants to make sure that your fingers are touching the steering wheel. So if you do radar cruise with kind of more of a limp hand, it'll yell at you more often. And then I also found that when I'm holding the steering wheel and my arms are lower, I can't rest my arms comfortably on the armrest because my biceps hit the bolstering. It's just not a comfortable seat for me in a luxury car.
Yeah, and I didn't have any of those issues because I'm a little bit taller, and the way I sit, it's just very comfortable.
And you can also set up the way you sit through the infotainment. It'll automatically set it up by your height, but we both found that those settings were a little like too tall and upright.
A little bit too proper posture, less gangster lean.
But you can see the head-up display very clearly with those seat settings, and then you can also change what you see there by clicking the home button, swiping up, and then we have a whole bunch of presets, which is nicer than customizing everything yourself. And before we get to the materials, let's talk about some more gimmicks in here. Visor test.
Yuri, please do the honors for me.
3, 2, 1. Full pass.
And we assume the passenger side will pass. Shh. Oh! Double visor! Yes!
Okay, as for cup holders, the cups do fit, small cups fit, but you're so tight against this cool surround here that it's kind of hard to get your cup in and out, so I don't really like it.
And then we have a really good wireless charger down there, which actually fits both of our phones.
Yeah, that's nice. And then if we cover this whole area up, we'll see that it's all gloss black, which does look nice, even though you don't like gloss black. And on our dash, it looks like gloss black and steering wheel, but it's a dark wood material.
Yeah, so that's my issue, is that like the materials look so similar, you might as well just make all of it wood. I would really appreciate if all of it was just that same material that was on the dash.
Yeah, and no gloss black. All right, little boot into Cliche in Sport Plus.
Ooh, this is not as comfortable, Yuri.
It's not.
Driver, please slow down.
No.
You're gonna have to clean this.
What are you gonna do? Fire me?
Yeah.
And even in Sport Plus, like that's insanely comfortable.
Yeah, that was really good.
Let's go back to Eco. And let's finish it off with the color of the seats.
Yeah, it's kind of like a baseball glove color.
Yeah, it is a nice normal Mercedes color, but I haven't found myself super comfortable in these seats as I have in previous Mercedes.
What?
Yeah, it's just not a perfect fit for me, but it does have a massage, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, these seats are very good for me in every position.
And lastly, to prove that MBUX isn't perfect still, hey Mercedes,
How can I help?
play Sirius XM 90s on 9. This will work.
It worked.
It worked, okay. So that was easy, right?
Yeah.
Channel 313 is called Rock Bar. That is a very easy 2 words to say, right?
Yes.
Hey Mercedes, Play Sirius XM Rock Bar.
Well, you got Channel 18, the Beatles channel.
Hey, Mercedes. Play Sirius XM Rock Bar.
Ah, no.
310,
Rock Hall.
Sirius XM Hall. It can't even do its own thing in here. We're not at voice yet, but I think that's pretty much everything with this Mercedes S-Class. It's time we get to the price.
So this one starts at $139,900.
Canadian.
And this one is optioned out to $165,850.
That seems like it's the going rate for an S-Class kind of vehicle.
I would totally agree with that. And we also don't even have the rear screens, so you can keep going with this. We don't even have a fridge back here. This doesn't even have the e-active body control. It's not even a Maybach.
Not even Designo paint?
Come on.
Or is it leather? What's Designo?
Designo is the leather, and then like Magno is the matte colors on the outside.
Doesn't even have that on the outside. But if you're looking to get your own new S-Class, click the Straight Pipes TrueCar link in the description below.
So overall, I really do like the new S-Class. I think it looks okay. I think it's very comfortable from back here, and I would still highly recommend it.
Give me the old S-Class over this. Give me a Maserati Quattroporte over all of them.
I would agree with the old S-Class. Maserati Quattroporte, no.
Can't wait for your EQS.
Oh, that infotainment, who knows?